Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
My anus is bleeding.
He can't sit down.
They call them dumps, big massive dumps.
Got a flame coming out of his butthole.
Beta male.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Don't you ever do that. Don't you ever do that. I tell you, don't do it.
Oops.
We're under attack. It is an alien force, not of this world. It's not human intelligence.
Bullshit.
Trust me, I'm like a smart person.
Bullshit.
It's not a salami sandwich.
Disappointed!
Repeat the line.
Disappointed!
How you like that, boy?
No.
Give me a break.
Stop it.
Fired.
Fired! Fired!
Bitch, move it along.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
I'm not worth your McDonald's money.
No.
Around the nation, Waldorf Nation, what's up, everybody? It's Friday! TGIF! Holy crap! It's been a week. But don't worry, we have a few fun stories for you today to end the week, to kind of round out what has been a very interesting, actually, last couple of weeks. Look, we got more stuff about Trump and the FBI search. You're gonna love the new excuse. One of my favorites. All right, we have some karma hitting the Alabama GOP. Fun. Marjorie Greene, not so fun. Goes after trans people, of course. There's another story out of Utah about a cis girl, a school student being accused of being trans. Great. And then finally, we're going to talk about the pastor who, viral video, got a little bit in trouble for yelling at his parishioners because he didn't get a watch. Well, we have an apology. So we're going to talk about that. That's fun. All right. So with that, why don't we dive into the first story here? Lots of fun. Before we do, please like and share the stream. Very important that you do so. Of course, helps us out as always. And of course, you can do super chats. You can do all these different things. And I really, really enjoy reading your comments. So, in fact, a lot of people are saying they like the shirt. Cool. Hey, great. You know what's great? I actually got this shirt for free. I love it. Yes, sometimes Shop TYT will send me free shirts. Gotta love it. It's perks, man. Perks. All right. Again, I like shirts. I like tacos. Exactly. All right. That said, why don't we get started? Fun Giuliani news. Let's do it. America's dumbest lawyer. Oh, you gotta love it. Okay. Former New York mayor and Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani has admitted that Donald Trump actually did indeed purposely take those classified documents from the White House to Mar-a-Lago. Now, that's interesting. Okay. Let's watch his explanation as to why and why he thinks it's a good defense.
And now They want to make him responsible for having taken classified documents and preserved them. Really, if you look at the Espionage Act, it's not really about taking the documents. It's about destroying them or hiding them or giving them to the enemy.
Right.
It's not about taking them and putting them in a place that's roughly as safe as they were in the first place.
Taking them and putting them in a place where they're safe, where they're very, very safe. They're very safe in Donald Trump's basement. That doesn't make any sense. Dummy, you just admitted that the stuff that was taken was classified and that he knew about it and took it to his house. Look, Rudy Giuliani, he has to be the dumbest, worst lawyer I've ever seen. Honestly, from losing all of his election challenges, leaking hair dye, farting in Jenna Ellis's face, which will never not be hilarious, and giving a press conference at the Four Seasons, not the hotel Four Seasons, no, but the landscaping company. Very, very, to be fair, very fancy landscaping company. No, this guy's an embarrassment. He's a clown. Total clown show. So his defense now is, yeah, I mean, sure, he took the documents, but he did it, the crime, because it's a crime to take the documents, but it's not actually a crime because, a crime. It's not, he was doing it to protect it. That's what he was doing. He was doing it to protect the documents. Okay, sure. Protect the documents from what exactly? Surely they would not be safer in the basement of Trump's golf resort where anybody can walk around. In fact, look, Rudy Giuliani had earlier at some point said, I walked around Mar-a-Lago and I looked around, I poked around pretty much everywhere. Secret Service pretty much let me do whatever I want. Oh, is that it? Oh, okay. But no, it's very, very secure. It's a very safe place that no one could ever find these classified documents. No, look, the whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. He was going to sell the documents. I'm almost, again, this is my personal opinion, okay? But I am convinced that Donald Trump took these documents to try to find something to sell. What else would you do with these classified documents? Why else would you take them? I mean, do you know a country that wouldn't be interested in learning America's secrets? I mean, again, some of these documents work at the highest classification level. Look, during the search, FBI agents took about 4 sets of top secret documents, some labeled TS-SCI or top secret and sensitive compartmented information. They had also retrieved about 3 sets of confidential documents and 3 sets of secret documents. Top secret documents, again, highest classification, could include weapon design and war plans. Now, knowing that these classifications could include weapons and other sensitive intelligence, do you really think that he wouldn't try to have sold these things to other countries? And do you actually believe Giuliani when he says, oh yeah, a basement storage place is the best place for them at a resort that sees all sorts of different people? Come on, nobody believes that. No, not even Rudy Giuliani, as dumb as he is, and as constantly hammered as he is. Do you think that Giuliani could be that dumb? I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating this man's intelligence or something. I don't know. Look, this adds, though, to the mountain of other bullshit excuses that have been put forward by Donald Trump and his allies that have been, again, contradicted or proven wrong. Look, first they said, classified documents? We don't have any classified documents. No, they weren't classified at all. Oh, okay, maybe we do have some classified documents. But, actually before that excuse, they said, well, any of the classified documents we had, we would have handed over to the FBI if they just asked. Oh, okay. Well, they did ask about 2 months prior to the FBI search, and even a Trump lawyer had lied about it, had signed saying, oh, no, we don't have that material. Okay, well, they also have claimed later on that Trump had a standing order to declassify everything. That's not true. According to 18 former top Trump administration officials, 18 of them, okay, they never heard of a standing order. He didn't give it this order. What are you talking about? When asked, several officials even laughed at the notion. In fact, another senior administration official called it bullshit. That's a quote. Another one said, this is a senior White House official, called it total nonsense. If that's true, where's the order with his signature on it? Hey, you know what? That is something that Trump could easily release. You would think that, oh, don't worry, I declassified everything, and here's my documentation on it. Because, you know, like it or not, president does have the ability to classify things, or declassify things, I should say. And so if he just wanted to, you know, prove that, no, don't, you don't understand, I did classify, or I'm sorry, declassify this information, here's my order, and I went through the process because there is a process. In fact, look, that same White House official said, look, if that were the case, there would have been tremendous pushback for declassifying this information from the intel community in the Department of Defense, which would almost have certainly have become known to intel and armed services committees on the Hill, and likely, to be honest, would have been leaked to the press. And you know it would have been leaked to the press, because pretty much everything was leaked to the press. Donald Trump's White House leaked like a sieve. So, of course, we would have heard about it. And the outrage, like, what are you doing declassifying all these documents? What are they? What are you declassifying? And again, even though the president can declassify documents, there is this process. It first must be memorialized and includes careful review of the material that is to be declassified. Not only that, but you'd have to notify the agencies such as the CIA, NSA, Department of Energy, State Department, Defense Department, to let them know, hey, this is going to be declassified information. You can't just post it on Truth Social. That's not an official document. That you can't do that. And by the way, he did that after the fact. After he got busted, he said, oh, don't worry, I declassified it. When did you declassify it? About 5 seconds ago. As soon as I hit the post button. No, that's not how it works. But this man is such a dum-dum. And by the way, a dangerous dum-dum. That he thought, no, you don't understand. I'm the president. And I can declassify anything, anytime. I can do whatever I want. No rules. No. That's not how it works. And he was told that repeatedly. And by the way, as it's been pointed out, if you have, like, there's material that is vital to national defense, right? That stuff doesn't have to be classified, but still be of national security importance, which means if it's important to national security, you can't just take the documents. You can't just randomly take them with you when you leave. That is not something you're supposed to be able to do. And so, yes, there is a crime here. But when it comes to the former president, Donald Trump, he really does believe he's above the law. And again, maybe that is because traditionally presidents have been treated as if they're above the law. Now, again, just because they've been treated like that, it's not right, for one. But it's also not on the same level that we've seen from Donald Trump, who was taken, yes, generally presidents get a lot more leeway to do these things. But Trump has taken it to an incredible extreme. And so, again, the broken system, right? Remember, only a broken system could even allow someone like Donald Trump to assume power in the first place, who would then use that power to do ridiculous and dangerous things. Also important to note that Trump was not the one who broke the system. Donald Trump is a symptom of a much bigger problem in this country. One where we actually don't hold presidents accountable, as I've went through, some of the stuff before on Bush not being held accountable for war crimes. And that's just one example. Ford pardoning Nixon after Watergate, that kind of stuff. And so there is that long history of little doors that were opened in which Donald Trump rushed through. One would hope that after everything that has happened, maybe we ought to go through and close some of those doors and start holding our elected officials, presidents included, accountable. But again, maybe I'm just having too much hope, but I really want this country to be able to learn its lesson, not only to do the right thing, because it is the right thing, right? But at the very least, try to do that to prevent another more competent Trump from happening. For any other reason, I'll take it. Let's just fix the system. All right, let's move on. No one should be above the law. I agree. The Lawrence County Republican Party is offering its apologies after posting an image that contained KKK imagery. Wonderful. Now, the image was posted on the party's Facebook page and was initially noticed by a Black Alabama State Representative, Anthony Daniels, who went and published a tweet showing the party's use of the image. Daniels wrote, "Shame on the Lawrence County Republican Party for using this disgusting image." And I'm going to show it to you. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the incorrect image. Basically what it's the Republican elephant, but with KKK hoodies in between the legs. Yeah. Oops. Now, after this was pointed out, the Lawrence County Republican Party had removed that image from the Facebook page and apologized. But before I read that, look, I'm sure you're wondering how this happened. Well, according to a party leader, Shannon Terry, he said that the image was found during a Google search and was immediately replaced once the party realized that it had contained KKK imagery, saying, "I would like to offer a deep and sincere apology for a picture that temporarily appeared on this page last night. A Google search picture of a GOP elephant was used and later found to have had hidden images that do not represent the views or beliefs of the Lawrence County Republican Party. As chairman, I take full responsibility for the error." Okay, so hold on. You did a Google search of a Republican elephant, and you went and you took an image that contained racist, hidden racist images, right? And you went with it. Really? You went with it? Oh, I didn't notice. Really? That's even more of a dumb excuse than I could have imagined, but it gets better. Now, the image was actually an original piece of art created in 2020 by the left-leaning political publication Mother Jones for an article discussing racism in the Republican Party. The article's headline was, "The Republican Party is racist and soulless. Just ask this veteran GOP strategist." The tagline read, "Stuart Stevens says he now realizes the hatred and bigotry of Trumpism were always at the heart of the GOP." So you now Googled the random image, took it from a website that was actually critical of the Republican Party. Now, for me, I don't know. This doesn't feel like it was a mistake here. Again, when you click on an image on Google, you can see the title and you can see the website that hosts the image. Again, I did a Google search. Look at that. The Republican Party logo. And you can see it right there. And you can see the website. You can see all the information. Now, you're telling me this guy did the same thing, grabbed, and you look in the upper left corner, there's the image again, okay? The offending image. You're saying that's an accident? No, that's not an accident. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Look, there's no way a competent person could have made this kind of mistake. I don't think they're that stupid. No. And I say that because, look, the Republican Party has a very long history of using racism in their platform. They literally ran on the Southern strategy for decades. You had the former RNC chairman coming out and saying, yes, we used the Southern strategy, which is racism, to reach out to white people and get them to vote for us. I mean, honestly, and look, the language they use against inner city crime, the welfare queens, the immigrants, all dog whistles against poor and non-white people. The thing is, it's in the era of Trump, it stopped being as code words and started being very, very open. But no, this guy says, oh, no, it's you don't understand. It's a mistake. It's a mistake. Let me read more of a statement. He says, the image posted by me on a political Facebook page was not done with any malicious or harmful intent. My error was rushing to post a thank you note to the outgoing chairperson. In doing so, I did not properly review a cut and paste image. I do not support or agree with any hate group agenda and certainly would not try to further their cause. Sure. Okay. But look, even if that's the case, that's at least very super negligent. Like, why? How could you just go through and steal an image and then just be like, here you go, without even looking at it? You could see it. Now, the person that originally created that image, Woody Harrington, spoke out about this, and he weighed in on his Instagram. Let me read you that. He said under the post of the image, are you a Republican politician looking for a promising image to symbolize your new campaign? This is not it. Woody, are you sure about that? Because it seems to fit them. But no, he continues by saying, 2 years ago, I created this image for a piece in Mother Jones magazine about the hate, bigotry, and racism hidden within Trump's GOP. Now, I would argue, of course, and I've argued before, that has always existed inside of the Republican Party. It's just that Donald Trump emboldened those racist opinions and made people comfortable enough to come out with it. Like, they saw Trump and they're like, let's get the hoods back on. Or maybe we should take the hoods off. I mean, you know, being super, super open about it. So I guess taking the hoods off actually seems to work a little bit better, but you know what I mean. And so, look, he said this, it's now come to my attention that the hate elephant has been given new life without permission or credit, of course, because the Republicans are going to steal it if they can. You think they're going to pay for that? No, of course not. In not one, but two different Republican campaigns. Unfortunately, when they Google searched GOP elephant, they never bothered looking close enough at the original source material or the elephant's legs to notice the hidden KKK hoods. Let this be a lesson in copyright karma, and always remember to ask for proof. Now, let me just talk about Terry for a second, okay? Terry, apparently, Shannon Terry will not resign his position. In fact, he said this: "The voters of District 4 elected me to represent them, and I am proud of the accomplishments of this administration over the past 6 years. I look forward to continuing to strive to give every student in Lawrence County the best opportunity to be successful." So, look, he is not going to resign. And there's, we know that already. He's going with the, "I'm sorry, oops, I made a mistake. My bad. I accidentally reposted a racist image on our Facebook page. Oh, well, you know what? And by the way, I also stole this image and didn't give credit to the person who actually created it. So that's two things that are negative. But that's okay. They elected me to represent them." Well, look, maybe in posting this, you were representing them, because maybe that's what your voters actually believe. But here's the other thing, too, related to that. I think there's a possibility that the calls for him to resign might make this image even more popular among people, who are members of the far right. Which again makes me think, is it really an accident? I'm just asking questions. That's all. Just asking questions. All right. Moving on here. Let's go to Marjorie Greene. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene on Friday introduced a measure which, among other things, would make it a felony to provide gender-affirming medical care to transgender youth. Now, Greene's ironically titled Protect Children's Innocence Act actually outlaws more than a dozen medical interventions and procedures that are used to treat gender dysphoria in transgender teens, including puberty blockers, which are reversible, hormone therapy, which is reversible, and even certain kinds of surgeries done for the purpose of changing the body of such individual to correspond to a sex that differs from their biological sex. It's important to note that a lot of these surgeries are not available to people under 18. Nonetheless, she has that in the bill, again, trying to solve problems that don't actually exist. Now, the measure would also prohibit using federal funds for gender-affirming healthcare, including in Affordable Health Care Act plans. Under Greene's bill, anyone who knowingly performs any of this care will face some serious punishment. They would be guilty of a Class C felony, carrying a punishment of 10 to 25 years in prison and a maximum fine of $250,000. Greene's bill also would prohibit institutions of higher education from providing instruction on gender-affirming care and bars doctors that have provided gender-affirming care to a minor from receiving visas or even being let into the United States. Wow. So, look, there's a few things that I need to dissect in this trash heap of a bill. Now, the first thing is, wait, whatever happened to being against big government? I thought the right wing hates big government. I thought the right wing, the whole conversation during Obamacare is, hey, I don't want the doctor. I don't want the government getting me between me and my doctor. I don't want that. Do you want the government getting in between you and your doctor? Well, what do you think this does? It gets between people and their doctor. I mean, again, the AC, it's little big government butting in between you and your doctor and telling you that you cannot make a decision for your own child. And on that, when it comes to parental rights, They say, oh, no, we're in favor of parental rights. Only, of course, only when it comes to vaccines. In reality, they love telling parents what to do with their kids. This is getting government right in the middle and saying, guess what? Big government knows better than you about you and your child's gender identity. And it's big government that can make the decision whether or not you can affirm your child's gender identity. I mean, and then, of course, there's the part about telling colleges, both public and private, that they're going to ban any instruction about doing gender-affirming care. Isn't it funny how the party of freedom and bodily autonomy no longer, is interested in freedom and bodily autonomy? I mean, these are the same people that called vaccines for children against coronavirus. Well, they called that tyranny. Vaccines are tyranny, but, we're going to stop you from having your child from being able to get gender affirming care, which again is reversible. And they claim it's because they care about the children, but it's not. Now, first, before I get to that, I want to go to Green talking with Tucker Carlson about her new bill.
Gender affirming care, which is really child abuse. This is actually an assault and it's child abuse. And this practice should never happen. It's so disgusting and appalling, and it's an embarrassment to our country. Teenage girls actually having their breasts chopped off, teenage boys being castrated. This needs to be illegal, and I'm introducing a bill called Protect Children's Innocence Act, and it would create a law that would cause it to be a Class C felony for any person involved in so-called gender-affirming care. That means genital mutilation surgery, that means hormones, that means puberty blockers, anything involving any youth under the age of 18, because these kids are too young to make these awful decisions that will affect them and will be permanent for the rest of their lives.
Oh, they will be permanent for the rest of their lives. Wait, you know that, again, both of those things, puberty blockers and hormones, are actually completely reversible. As far as mastectomies, again, have you never heard of breast implants? I mean, you may want to ask your friend Lauren Boebert. I'm not saying anything. I just don't think those are real. That's just my opinion. Okay, but look, anyway, look, there's very, very few. I would say that it's probably incredibly rare to see a 12-year-old get a hysterectomy. There's got to be a major medical issue. They're not just handing those things out willy-nilly to kids. As I've explained in another video, it's difficult for healthy women of childbearing age, incredibly difficult, to go and get a hysterectomy. Even those who are suffering with massive amounts of pain from conditions like endometriosis, for example. Doctors will still tell them in a lot of cases, yeah, but maybe your husband will want kids one day. Or maybe you'll get married and you'll want children. And do you think those same people or those same doctors are handing out these, hysterectomies and all this stuff in the guise of gender affirming care like candy? No, it's just nonsensical. It's not reality. But again, here's an example of conservatives making things up and then getting scared about it. It's really messed up. Really messed up. But once again, Marjorie Greene shows how disgusting and appalling she really is, because she wants to say this is child abuse. No, you know what's actually child abuse? Forcing transgender youth to pretend to be something that they're not. Physically, mentally, and emotionally abusing them for being themselves, for wanting to be themselves as trans people. You know what's also abuse? Dead naming people. That's abuse. Shoving them in the closet. That's abuse. But look, gender affirming care has actually been proven to reduce abuse. Okay, to reduce suicidal ideation among trans youth. In fact, a study last year published in JAMA Surgery found that gender-affirming surgeries are associated with improved mental health conditions among transgender people. This very large study actually involved about 20,000 participants, and it found that transgender people who had received one or more gender-affirming surgical procedures had a 42% reduction in the odds of experiencing a past month psychological distress, a 35% reduction in the odds of past year tobacco use, and a 44% reduction in the odds of past year suicidal ideation. The study also found that people who received all of the gender-affirming surgeries they desired had significant reductions in the odds of every adverse mental health outcome examined. But of course, someone will always come up and cite, but what about the people who want to detransition? Are there people that have wanted to detransition? Yeah. There are people that realize that, oh, I made a mistake. Turns out I didn't actually have gender dysphoria or what have you, right? Does it happen? Sure. Is it a large number of people? No. I generally say probably out of 100 trans people who have transitioned, there might be 2, maybe 3 people who may have some regrets. And yet Republicans want to take those people and say, well, that's why we shouldn't let anyone do it. No, it's ridiculous. Doesn't make any sense. But by the way, the studies that have come in have really illustrated why so many different medical organizations support the medical necessity for treatments dealing with gender dysphoria. And so those treatments would, of course, be gender-affirming care. They include the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, the American Academy of Dermatology, the American Academy of Family Physicians, the American Academy of Nursing, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Academy of Physician Assistants, the American College of Health Association, the American College of Nurse Midwives, the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, the American College of Physicians, the American Counseling Association, the American Heart Association, the American Medical Association, the American Medical Student Association, the American Nurses Association, the American Osteopathic Association, the American Psychiatric Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Public Health Association, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, the Endocrine Society, the GLMA, Health Professionals Advancing LGBTQ Equality, the National Association of Nurse Practitioners in Women's Health, the National Association of Social Workers, the National Commission on Correctional Health Care, the Pediatric Endocrine Society, the Society for Adolescent Health and Medicine, the World Medical Association, and the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. Gee, it's almost like all these different associations know something that Marjorie Greene doesn't. Or maybe they know a lot more than she does. Look, it's one thing to call Marjorie Greene ignorant. Because let's be honest, she absolutely is.
Peachtree dish.
Okay, she's not a smart person, but it's more than that. She is actually just purposely hateful. People like Greene do not want trans people to exist. She wants to wipe trans people off the face of the earth. That's what all of their goal is. Now, of course, you'll never actually get rid of transgender people. You'll never get rid of gay people, right? But what they want to do is they want to make life so horrible for people who are transgender, people who are non-binary, people who are gay. They want to make life so horrible for them, deny them their identity, so that they will, and this is, let me give you a CW here, okay? They want to make them off themselves. And that's what the plan is. Make life so horrible for people that they will eliminate themselves. Because they can't at this point, they can't go and do it themselves, because I know they would. They would absolutely want to do that themselves but you know, we have this thing called laws, and so can't do that. They love the idea of making trans people harm themselves. A lot of different streamers and different shows have talked about Keffals. Okay, she's a Twitch streamer. She's transgender, and she had been swatted, which means somebody had called in a fake threat using her name, her dead name, by the way, to threaten, members of the city, leading to the cops sending a SWAT team to her house. She nearly died as a result of this. That's what they want to do to trans people. They could have killed her, but understand that either, in either case, intimidating her or killing her would have suited their aims just fine. They would have been happy with both. That's who these people are. That's what they want to do. They want to kill transgender people. They don't care about children. They don't care about the youth. Because transgender youth are the ones that are being harmed the most. And they don't care. That's what they want. That's what they want. So we have to understand who these people are. We have to understand what we're facing here in dealing with these people. Because you're not going to be able to talk sense into people who believe that trans people should be wiped off the face of the earth. I'm not going to work with those people. I don't care what those people believe. I don't care what those people think. If they think that trans people should not exist, then I want nothing to do with you. You're a broken, disgusting person. Again, Marjorie Green doesn't care about children, much less transgender children, but even cisgender children, right? She was the one who voted against actually ramping up production of powder, formula. She doesn't care about them once they're born. She certainly doesn't care about them if they're transgender. She hates all of them. And she just wants to actively abuse transgender youth and prevent parents from being good parents and giving them, transgender people, the youth, the care that they need and the support that they deserve. She's literally one of the worst kinds of people. And she proves it every single time she opens her disgusting mouth. Not a big fan of Keffals, but in this case, I feel she was 100% wronged and needs to be redressed. You don't have to be a fan to see how completely and utterly fucked that entire situation is. And I'm glad you realize that. Yeah, because that's not really a time to say, well, I don't really like that person. And so, whatever. No, you should be actively against treating people like that, no matter who they are. I mean, I would be absolutely against somebody like Tim Pool. Tim Pool's been swatted before. I don't like the fact that it happened. I think it's dangerous. And so, yeah, I'm actively against that because that can kill people. And so we should all be against seeing, law enforcement, as trigger happy as they are, being targeted against people who disagree with you. They found her by the sheets in her hotel. Yes. Yeah. And that's even more absolutely disturbing. I'm against all swatting, as we all should be. As we all should be. All right, another transgender-related story. All right. A female student was accused of being transgender and investigated for it because she just happened to be too good at sports. So now this happened in the state of Utah after some parents of some girls who came in second and third place during a state sports competition could not accept that their kids were beaten by another girl. That this girl had completely outclassed their daughters when it came to sports. So now look, David Spatafor, the Utah High School Activities Association legislative representative, told the Utah legislature's Education Interim Committee on Wednesday that his organization had received multiple complaints from loser parents, that I added loser into it, who claimed that this very talented female athlete was just too good. She's too good to be a girl. I mean, obviously she's too good at this sport, and so there must be something wrong. No, maybe your daughters aren't as good as you think. That's okay. Not everybody's endowed with natural, abilities at sport. I'm certainly not. Okay, and I'm open about that. But okay, parents of sports kids. Okay, I know you love your kids. I know you think the world's of them. Okay, and I know you support them and you want them to win. But calm down. Calm down. Chill out. It's just high school sports. Okay, it's school sports. That's it. What are you doing? The whole thing is absolutely ridiculous. So these sore losers, right? And I'm not talking about the girls that were competing. I'm talking about the parents. The parents. Those are the sore losers. Were like, that couldn't have been a girl. That couldn't have been a girl. You know what? She doesn't look feminine enough. That was her argument. Now, Spatafor would not disclose the sport or the school associated with the case where the winner had outclassed her competitors that year, but did reveal that the UHSAA had asked the student's school to investigate her, to do a secret investigation to see whether or not she was a girl. They went back to her kindergarten records and found out that she had always been female. Now, this is absolutely fucked. This situation. I mean, they did a secret gender investigation of a child because the parents were just so incredibly salty that their kid lost. Really? Really? And I said secret investigation because guess what? Nobody was told. Neither the people nor the family were told about this investigation at all. In fact, according to Deseret News, we didn't get to the parents of the student simply because of all the questions about eligibility were answered by the school or the feeder system schools. There was no reason to make it a personal situation with the family or that athlete, Spatafor explained. Okay, but I'm worried, but what if there was? I mean, what would have been in the next step? You're inching too close to doing genital inspections in school. Is that the direction that you want to go in? Hey, drop your pants. We don't think you're feminine enough. You did a little too good in sports. We got to see if there's a penis there. Show us the penis. We know you got one, or we suspect that you've got one. There's no way a girl could be that good at sports. No, look, this whole thing is ridiculous. It's deeply, okay, so it's deeply transphobic, yes. It's also incredibly sexist. Are you saying the implication here is that women and girls are so bad at sports that they could never stand a chance against a trans girl? That's ridiculous. That's not true at all. Yes, there are some situations where a trans athlete actually did very well competing against cisgender women and other athletes. And then there are a lot of situations where transgender athletes also do very poorly against cisgender athletes. How weird. It's almost as if, people have good days and bad days. And sometimes, again, competition, you can do good at competition, or you have certain advantages that are not related to, having a penis or whatever. I mean, who's that swimmer? and I can't think of his name right now. That guy's got all sorts of genetic advantages over every other swimmer, and that's why he blows everyone out. But that's okay. Again, the whole thing is ridiculous. All of this is ridiculous. What's going on here? And Michael Phelps, thank you. Look, all these anti-trans bills, which, by the way, Utah passed back in March of this year, all those bills were a solution in search of a problem. Look, this is so ridiculous that even Republican governors, Spencer Cox, was against the bill. He pointed out at the time of the vote that, hey, look, this is a problem. This is not a real problem. This is not something that we need to be spending our time legislating. You know how many trans children were in sports? 4. And one of them was a girl, was a trans woman. There's no epidemic of trans girls coming in and dominating all sports. This is not a real issue. It's a fake problem that conservatives have come up to scare themselves. I mean, it's all just, culture war nonsense, hate bait. And aside from being, again, openly discriminatory against trans youth, it also accidentally, as we see in this situation, targets athletic cisgender girls and perpetuates sexist stereotypes against women that participate in sports. Look, if you call yourself a feminist, right, and you think banning trans women from sports is a good idea, you might want to go back and examine if you are actually a feminist. Just saying, you might want to go back and look, because things are not, from your perspective, what the reality is. Okay. I use horror fiction to scare myself. You know what, Germ? Republicans too. They also use horror fiction. Except their horror is a black person in a position of power. Oh no! Okay. Although I really do like that comment. All right. Pastor Carlton Funderburk, fun name, recently apologized for a sermon that went viral. In this sermon, he went after members of his congregation for being cheap. Let me show you that video, and then we'll get to the apology.
See, that's how I know you still poor, broke, busted, and disgusted, because of how you've been honoring me. I'm not worth your McDonald's money. Come on. Come on. I'm not worth your Red Lobster money. I ain't worth your St. John knit. Y'all can't afford it no how. I ain't worth y'all Louis Vuitton. I ain't worth your Prada. I'm not worth your Gucci. You can buy a Movado watch in Sam's.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And y'all know I asked for one last year. Here it is the whole way in August. I still ain't got it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Let me kick down the door and talk to my cheap sons and daughters. I don't want to hear no more excuses about what y'all can't afford. You can't afford it because you don't see the value here. Y'all hear from y'all pastor and father, I'm over y'all. I'm over your cheap expressions.
I'm not worth your McDonald's money? Yeah, bitch, I'd rather get a quarter pounder than listen to you cry about how you didn't get a new watch. Fuck off. I mean, again, this is ridiculous. Look, you might have noticed that younger people happen to be leaving religion. This is probably why. This, and of course, you know, you have the hateful pastors, and I'm not saying that all pastors are, of course, hateful. No, there's a lot of wonderful LGBTQ accepting churches and good people out there. But generally, what you have, people like that, and then the hateful fire and brimstone, you know, everybody's going to hell, gay people are bad, you know, those are the churches that make people leave religion. I mean, again, it's the guys like Creflo Dollar, Joel Osteen. You got, you know, Kenneth Copeland, where he's, you know, sitting there talking about demons.
Get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
No, you know, I gotta get my own private jet. I gotta get the private jet and the fancy watch. And you know, I gotta get the jet because I can't ride with the demons. Okay, I can't get in the tube, the long tube full of demons. You realize that he's talking about regular people, right? You're the demons. He wants to get away from you. Again, these are the people, okay, that are the problem. Hey, you know what? Go buy your own stuff. If you want a Movado watch, go buy your own watch. I'm going to channel a conservative right now, okay? Hey, pastor, get a job. Fill out an application, go to an interview, and get a job. Maybe then you might actually do something positive for your community instead of yell at them. Look, this guy is, to me, complete huckster, scammer, bullshit artist. You name it. I mean, honestly. Oh, what does God need with a fancy watch or private jet? Huh? What do they need with that? They don't need it. They don't. And by the way, do you know what the Bible actually says about material possessions? Turns out, Jesus is not a big fan of people having lots of material possessions. Weird. In fact, he advised the rich to give away all of their worldly possessions to the poor. And it also makes sure to remind people, hey, when you die, you can't take it with you. Just saying. Now, with that, he did offer an apology after all of this backlash. Let's take a look at that.
I want to take this moment to address the now viral video clip of me from a sermon given August the 7th, 2022. Though there is context behind the content of the clip, no context will suffice to explain the hurt and anguish caused by my words. I have spoken to those I am accountable to and have received their correction and instruction. I have also privately apologized to our church, who has extended their love and support to me. I'm privileged to do life with them. The video clip does not reflect my heart or my sentiments toward God's people, yet that's not discernible in the clip. Therefore, I offer this sincere apology to you today. No context could erase the words I used. I apologize to all who have been hurt, angered, or in any way damaged by my words.
Okay, I'm not buying it. Because you know what? I've seen a lot of bullshit in my life. And I know a bullshit artist when I see one, okay? But so here's what I love about it though. The hush tone. Hi, I'm deeply sorry to those that I've hurt. You know, I'm very, very humbled. And there's no context here that could erase the harm that I have actually done. No, well, he's right about that. Because look, I would wager that the person that he has hurt most is himself. I mean, this guy seems to have already been quite a big problem here, enough for someone in his congregation to film it and send it out on the internet. So yeah, and guess what? The world got to see this grift. Now, look, as far as the parishioners, what are you doing? Like, I feel bad for you. why are you listening to this guy? I mean, seriously, the guy doesn't need a watch. He doesn't need a jet. What does God need with money? What does God need with a starship? Okay? No, he's simply using you for cash. That's what he's doing. Now, he is a very good performer, and I'll give him that. Very, very entertaining person, okay? And unfortunately, you have people who can talk very, very well. There's two different careers, two different types, I guess, of careers that people who can talk very well get into. Stuff like that. Well, again, I do a talk show, but I don't talk that well. Honestly, I'm certainly not that entertaining, or entertaining like Donald Trump. And so what you have is the people who are very, very entertaining and very captivating. Those are the people that go into either politics or religion. And of course, there's a reason there, okay? They're target-rich environments. I mean, think about it, right? When it comes to Republican politics, for example, and these religious groups, churches, the victims are often the same kinds of people. Older religious people who are generally conservative. And there's a reason for that. Once you've started using your faith over critical thinking and have entrusted a singular figure, right? And a one person, and you're going to say, okay, I'm going to believe everything that you say without any sort of critical thinking, that's when you open yourself up to be exploited. And that's why scam artists love to go in religion and politics. And of course, the scam artists are usually the ones who are very charismatic. And you do also see, at least on the right wing, an intertwining of both politics and religion in a way to screw people in both ways. And so my advice is, don't be fooled if someone starts telling you that God told you to give him cash. Chances are that's not God, and you should run. Okay. All right. I have some thanks to give out, by the way. So let me just go here, because I know that there were some memberships that were given out. I got to go find that. There's insanity in the control room. I feel sorry for these people. They have barely enough money left to buy their monthly assault rifle. Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. That you had me in the first half. But I actually do feel bad for a lot of these people because, again, they are taking advantage of people who are poor, taking advantage of people, without means in order to feed their lifestyles. And they think that it's, oh, you understand, I'm going to get the blessings of heaven. And so it's okay if I give away my stuff. No, it's not supposed to be the poor giving away your stuff. The whole point of Christianity was to give away your stuff to the poor if you're rich. And that opens up the riches of heaven. But of course, they, hucksters and charlatans, scammers, whatever you want to call them, have completely bastardized what, their religion is supposed to be, the teachings of said religions, and have used it for their own gain. And it's just super disgusting to see. Okay, let's see. Read a couple of super chats. Riel and N. Well, by the way, thank you for gifting 5 memberships on YouTube. I believe it was 5 memberships. Let me know if there are any more. If it was actually 10 memberships, I'm not sure. Because it popped up twice earlier. But I want to thank you for gifting those memberships. That's incredibly generous of you and very, very kind. Thank you so much. And also says, you're worth my Gucci money. Oh, well, thank you. I really appreciate it. That's so incredibly nice of you. And the thing that I always tell people too, because There are people that have been like, I want to donate, but I can't. 5 times 2, so it's 10. Thank you for the very, very kind 10 gifted memberships. Really, really appreciate it. But I always tell people, like, hey, if you can't donate, don't. Don't worry about it. If you don't have the money, make sure to take care of yourself and your family before giving your money to whether it be me or any other streamer or anything like that. Just, you know, being here and being a person with an open mind and spreading the progressive message, that's what's important. So thank you for that. Very, very kind, all of you. And Madi Darno, by the way, thank you, Madi, for being a moderator. Mod Love says, many thanks for the show. We appreciate it very much. Love to chat. Be kind, check on your neighbors and friends in this heat, and be well. Wonderful words, 100%. Who wears watches these days? True. Ben Dixon using his power for good again. Glad to see Ben back. I think he got a video removed from TikTok, which is pretty ridiculous. But yes, Ben, very based and amazing. So everybody check out Benjamin Dixon. He does, again, a lot of great stuff. All right. Let me go to Twitch here because there's stuff going on Twitch. Drip alert. Thank you for resubbing for a month of tier 1 for 2 months. Awesome. Lava Rain, thank you for resubbing with Prime for 4 months. Thank you. How come churches and people who are religious promote hate and fear instead of peace and love? I mean, according to their Bible, isn't God love? Those people are not following the Bible. There are actually plenty of wonderful religious people who actually do practice peace and love. Look, I've done stories on it where they're starting to speak out against the Marjorie Greens of the world and against the Christian nationalists. And I love to see it. And we are starting to see that resurgence. But you have to note that the hateful people, I think that they're a minority, but they're a very, very loud one. And so it tends to drown out everyone else who are actually, you know, good people and actually do, you know, practice peace and love. Sonic Fear, thank you for subbing for a month of tier 1. Appreciate that. The Bible contradicts itself on basically every single point. They pick and choose the bad parts. There's definitely a lot of cherry picking going on, and that's absolutely true. Let's see. But yeah, that's a good point. Chris Green, what will I do when Nina Turner starts her TYT show at 4 p.m. in October? Probably nothing. I mean, again, you know, this time works for me. And, you know, again, you can always, if you decide to go there, that's totally fine. Again, she'll probably do a fantastic show. And she's a strong fighter and a strong presenter. No problem with that. You can always watch the clips. Okay. But yeah, it is a good question. I don't really, and the other thing too is I don't really see her as competition because we're on the same side. And it doesn't matter who's presenting the information. We're on the same side and we all want the same things. And so I'm not really worried too much about like, oh, it's the hit to my you know, viewership.
Give me a break. Out the door.
Look at that. I'm pressing buttons on accident here. I'm not really worried about like the hits to my viewership numbers or live or whatever. No, it's more about the message. It's always been more about the message, and it'll always be about the message. And so I'm glad to see her having a platform. She you know, that platform, more progressive voices are very, very important to have. And so, yeah, I welcome her. And again, I'm not worried about, we're not worried about competition because there is no competition. I hope I'm quite clear. on that. All right. Anything else that I might have missed? Yeah, let's see. Oh, by the way, speaking of Twitch, why don't we end the show out here and raid into, let's see what's going on here. Oh, I'm not simply the best, but I do appreciate the very kind words. Or you could always watch Nina later on. I'm hopefully she'll do clips as well. And who knows, like, I would love to have a conversation with Nina. So you know, yeah, maybe she could, you know, like invite me on the show, and I can stream that too. Who knows? That would be fun. All right, everybody. Thank you. Love you all. Really, really appreciate you. Try to have a great weekend. Like and share the stream, and we'll see you back here next week. Love you all, and remember, change begins with you. Good night, nation. We'll see you later.
It's not a salami sandwich. It's a viable baby in the womb.
Don't trip. I tell you, don't do it.
I like my knee tight. Tighten up my knee.
Disappointed!
Sexual anarchy.
Obama. You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.
I'm not worth your McDonald's money.